Dirty Sports Podcast. I said, welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy Ruther and Joe Prano. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Port Hueneme, California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy.
What's up, man?
What's up, bro?
What's crack-a-lackin'?
Happy Friday.
Yeah, it's good. Friday.
Well, it's not Good Friday, but it's Good Friday.
It's good. Combo.
It's good.
You doing a Dodger fan? What are you doing there?
It's Good Friday.
By the way, speaking of Dodger fans, whatever is going around, guys, online is fake.
What happened?
With Dodger prices.
Oh, like $30 beers and shit like that?
Somebody just completely made that up, trying to be funny.
Yeah.
$35 beer. The new price increases for Dodger Stadium. Somebody posted $35 beers, $15 hot dogs, $11 popcorn, $13 soda, $28 pizza.
Not the time to be joking about things like this. The Dodger CEO going to get shot on his way going into a building.
They going after Magic?
I don't think Magic's making any of those decisions.
Do you see that they scrubbed the
Magic's Twitter? Crazy day to be a CEO. I haven't seen someone get shot like that since I watched The Quick and the Dead, one of my favorite 90s movies with Gene Hackman and Leonardo DiCaprio.
That would be a perfect Magic tweet. I saw that they're removing the names and bios of people that are on the board and executives at a lot of these companies. Did you see that?
No, but I do love it.
Well, my response is, like, people can't just Google and figure it out.
Yeah.
Like SEC filing.
LinkedIn.
Yeah, exactly. LinkedIn. I know I keep saying it.
You're a CEO and it's not on the website anymore, so you get a LinkedIn message. So-and-so would like to connect. A bullet to your back.
I mean, I know I keep saying this, but I'm going to keep saying it again. You literally can find anything, guys, in 2024. You find everything about somebody.
I mean, we found out who Jameis 101 was.
And he still denied it.
Yeah.
I wonder how he's coping right now with that 3 interception, 2 pick six. Dude, he's coping
gloriously. You haven't been on? You haven't checked it out? This is the greatest game for a quarterback in NFL history. No one's unlocked Jerry Jeudy more. Every team should be crazy. If you're not giving the bag to Jameis Winston next year, you're crazy.
Oh my God. He
has the grade. I believe the statistics were the highest QB rating for a quarterback under 31 on passes to only his team, which is, I mean, seems like a crazy way to break down stats, but you can't argue with facts.
Wait, what? He tweeted, Jameis Winston talks about letting his teammates down after setting the Browns' all-time record with 497 passing yards and becoming the number one all-time in NFL history in career 450-yard plus 4 touchdown games in a game where his run game was bad, his D got gashed, and his kicker missed a field goal. What? Leadership.
14 points. To the Broncos directly from Jameis Winston.
They literally win that game.
Yeah.
And shame on me for picking the Browns to cover.
Shame on you.
Shame on me.
I said I'm fading Andy through Jameis. And then I also said, I wish I could bet on a pick six in this game. Which a couple of dirtballs figured out how to. A couple of dirtballs hit me up and they were like, I couldn't figure out how to bet a Jameis pick six, but I did manage to bet a Denver Broncos defensive score. So to the 4 or 5 dirtballs who reached out to me and said they bet Denver Broncos defensive score, you're welcome.
Oh my God. Jameis 101 quote tweeted a thing about Mike Vrabel going to the Jets as the head coach. This is what Jameis 101 quote tweeted last night. If the Cleveland Browns fail to secure an extension with Jameis Winston, it wouldn't shock me if Mike Vrabel becomes the New York. This is Jameis 101's plan. If Vrabel becomes the Jets head coach and see him trade Aaron Rodgers and sign Jameis Winston himself, Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson's numbers would explode in 2025 with Jameis. That would be a Jets thing to do, though.
Yeah, although I don't think Mike Vrabel's not if they hire Mike Vrabel. They're like, what do you need? He's like,
defense.
Is Ryan Tannehill still available to only hand off the ball? Are there other wide receivers that we can convert into just handoff machines? They're like, we had a better idea. How about a guy's going to turn over the ball 4 times a game? And he's like, yeah, I'm not going to take this job.
Dude. 14 points.
The Twitter sphere, the social media, like
I can't handle it with Jameis anymore, dude. Like
I can't handle it with most people. When I went to repost my Jameis prediction on the Dirty Sports Podcast Twitter, I opened the Dirty Sports Twitter for the first time in I don't know how long, and I saw in our mentions one of our Minnesota Vikings fans, asking for an update from me, because I blocked him years ago, asking for an update from me about the Vikings. Meanwhile, showing a screenshot where I said the Minnesota Vikings are bad and will forever be bad as long as they're overpaying a mediocre quarterback in Kirk Cousins that makes them having a good defense impossible. And he wanted an update. You have your update. You got rid of your overpaid quarterback. You improved your defense. You spent that money to improve your defense. You're 9-2. Update. I was right the whole time. Kirk Cousins is now in Atlanta throwing 4 picks a game and is going to get benched for a rookie. Update. If you want to know the future, come listen to this podcast. That's the update. Like, it was some sort of update about, like, look how the Vikings are doing. How I said they'd be doing if they ever got rid of Kirk Cousins, who all of you mindlessly defended because no one in the world can look past their fucking team colors and their favorite player. Imagine watching Jameis Winston single-handedly lose a game and still being like the greatest performance. The Browns have played in AFC championship games. You lost a regular season Monday Night Football game because your quarterback threw 2 pick sixes. Imagine being that delusional.
The Vikings. You said Browns. The Vikings.
I know. I'm talking about the Browns. I'm talking about the Browns now. But I'm saying it's the same thing. Jameis 1 is every delusional fan. He's every delusional fan. No matter what proof you get, you refuse to accept it. The proof, he came in on Monday night. He single-handedly lost the game. And Jameis 1's like, let's celebrate. A Vikings fan wanted an update on me predicting the future of his team 18 months ago and being like, your team will immediately be better when you stop overpaying one of the most mediocre and overpaid quarterbacks in the history of the game. And then they stopped paying him, and now they're 9-2 with Sam Darnold. Update. What's the update? You want my home address so you can send me a fucking you were right cake? Every fan is so delusional.
It is funny looking at. I just pulled it up out of curiosity. The Vikings points per game, 2022, 30th in the league, giving up 25 points a game. Brian Flores comes They jump all the way down to 12th. They gave up 4 less points, 21 a game last year. Now this year, they're all the way up to 5th. They're top 5 defense in the league, only giving up 18 points a game with Sam Darnold and Brian Flores.
And Kirk Cousins is in Atlanta throwing 4 picks. And he's going to get benched for a rookie.
I think a lot of it really is it's fans of their team. It's also we always say this, it's fantasy, man. It's fantasy. You know, it's like, oh, Cousins might have a great game, or Jameis Winston. I don't know how the scoring works when you give up 2 pick sixes like Jameis did. I don't know how much that negates, but what his points total is in fantasy, but it's fantasy.
Yeah.
But again, like and I shouldn't do this, the curiosity factor under Jameis thing, I always click under the comments. The most common thing is, what's there not to like about this guy? And I didn't do it. I wanted
14 points he gives the other team every week.
I wanted to write on one of them. When somebody wrote, what's there not to like about this guy? I was going to write the interceptions, the 0 playoff wins, and the rapes. But most importantly, the rape. Like, as a joke. Most important, but not really. Most importantly, the rapes. But
like,
it's like,
imagine what would have to happen for those people to like give. So what if he threw 3 pick sixes every week and murdered a baby? He throws 2 pick sixes every week and raped multiple women. They're like, what's not to like?
And again, take the okay, let's take.
They're like, yeah, but did you see Hitler's art?
Take the off the field out of it.
He fucking stinks, dude.
That's what I'm saying. He stinks.
We live in a fucking age. We live in an age where he's throwing more picks in 3-game spans than basically a modern NFL coach deems acceptable for a season.
Yeah.
Like you have to have a 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio at this point.
No, to be like, that's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, 4-to-1.
A lot. 20-5. That's like 3-to-1. Jameis is a 1. Jameis is 1. It's Jameis 1-to-1.
You definitely got to do 2-to-1 at the very least. I mean, even Patrick Mahomes this year, 19-11. He's not even 2-to-1.
Yeah, but Patrick Mahomes has also had 30-3 years.
No, look, I agree. You can't be 11-7, which Jameis currently is for touchdowns and interceptions. Look, I think you for sure got to be at least 2-to-1. You particularly can't be giving up 6 the other way. I mean, can't we agree? A pick 6 is like a hole-in-one in golf. You know how tough it is to get a pick 6? Is that the toughest thing to do on the football field?
I mean, maybe not, but
I'm saying take special teams out of it. I'm not talking about kick returns. I'm saying offense and defense aside, to intercept it and return it for a touchdown. You could argue that's the hardest thing to do on just non-special teams.
Yeah. I mean, a fumble return for a touchdown probably happens less, but
yeah, you're probably right.
But yeah, it's like,
but he does them with ease.
I mean, like you're almost guaranteed. I did guarantee it, but you're almost guaranteed one for when you play with Jameis. It's insane to me. It's insane to me that, but again, it's delusional behavior. It's like no one with a brain actually thinks this.
Yeah.
It's just people who don't fucking understand at all the game of football. It's the momentum that comes with it, the fucking flip the field. You got, like by the way, he also threw another pick. Like, you played a game on Monday Night Football against the Broncos. Vince Lombardi said there's 5 big plays in every football game. So 3 of them are your quarterback turning the ball over. 2 of them, they are returned for touchdowns. That's essentially the 5 right there. You lost the game because of the 5 plays, the 3 picks and the 2 touchdowns. It's a joke, dude. It's a joke that we live. It's a joke that we live in a world where 100% of people who pretend to like the NFL or care about it aren't like, well, that guy's the worst quarterback in the league. All he does is throw balls to the wrong team.
Well, if we can kind of pivot to last night's game, to me, a big sign of the lack of football knowledge with your social media person is the number of people who commented on that handoff from Jared Goff that he was down.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, you got to be touched. It's the NFL. And Kirk Herbstreit even said that. He goes, oh, this is college. He's down.
Yeah.
Dude, if you don't know that you got to be touched and you're posting about this, you're not even a casual. You're not a fan of football.
Yeah.
You're not a fan of the NFL game. Let's talk about Dan Campbell, though. He goes for it 5 times on 4th down. They convert 4 of them. The final time, it's about 4th and half a yard.
I just don't understand it. I don't understand I don't understand if the thought process was the thought process closer for a field goal, or was it less time on the clock? Like, what was it?
It was the thought process. We don't want to give the ball to Jordan Love.
If we miss, he gets the ball with 35 seconds and somewhat decent field position. And
so the ball was at the 21. So first of all, just to kind of take you through it, both announcers were like, even Herbstreit goes, there's no way he's not kicking it here. Like, the ball's at the 21. It's a 38, 39-yard field goal.
Yeah.
It's under 40. I know guys are missing a lot of those this year, but he goes, he's gonna kick it here. You basically give, which we know is still a fair amount of time in today's modern game. You give Jordan Love the ball with 40 seconds left. Can they go match you for a field goal? Which for sure is a possibility.
Right.
But I guess the mindset.
I'm assuming the bigger fear is the miss, and then
for sure that's a fear, because then they definitely get good field position at the 38. So
there's the other sort of issue we have with the casual football fan, the social media fan these days, is the justification based on the outcome.
Yes, it's a good point.
I said it the entire time Doug Peterson was the coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. Guy is a bumbling fool with those 4th down decisions. And one year, he hit all of them. And they won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, while still being the Eagles coach, the probability, it all evened out. And he was fired within 2 years of winning the Super Bowl. And now, obviously, he's embarrassing himself in Jacksonville, and he'll be out of football in, 3 months. But, I almost, if you're a Lions fan, and everybody loves to dive in on the analytics these days, you almost want to not go 4 for 5. Because when this evens out, you don't want it evening out in an NFC championship game or in a Super Bowl or in a playoff game. I'll say this right now. Everybody is in the agreement that the Eagles and the Lions are the best 2 teams in the NFC, correct?
A lot of people.
I predict that one of them will not be appearing in the NFC Championship game. They will not play each other in the NFC Championship game. And they will not be playing each other in the NFC Championship game because they both have coaches that are absolutely reckless. And dude, if you get bit in the ass by it, in a playoff game, that's it. You don't just get to go on to week 11 or week 12. You get bit in the ass by it in the playoff game, your season's over, which we saw in the Lions in the NFC Championship game last year.
Look, I don't mind people being aggressive. There's a time and there's a place for sure. I don't like, I mean, look, personally, this is me. I would have kicked a field goal 100%.
I said this about the Lions in week 1 last year against the Chiefs. When you don't kick that field goal, what you're saying is, I don't trust my defense. So you kick that field goal and you go up 3. You don't trust your defense for 30 seconds to not let them drive down the field and match?
No, I don't think because you saw Green Bay was rolling the second half offensively.
Right. I understand that. But it's, to hold up the football in the locker room at the end of the game, we just got to talk about here. You know what? Everybody rally around. Come into the den. Come into the Lions' den. Let's talk about how I don't trust my defense. Let me hear I don't trust my defense on 3, 1, 2, 3. I don't trust my defense.
Look, I've obviously been I have for sure defended Dan Campbell this year and said, hey, I was wrong about them turning it around, and they have, and it's a fun story. I know you call them my Lions, but I'm going to agree with you. Last night's go for it on 4th down is almost a foreshadowing of the playoffs because it is a different animal. And do we even saw it last night? Jared Goff, he stumbled. I mean, he luckily got the handoff. That doesn't play out well if he stumbles and then Montgomery gets stuffed, and then we head to overtime, or the Packers win in regulation.
I also doubled down on what I said. It's like, if you're the Packers, do you even like mind losing that game? You're not gonna. You win that game, you're what, 9-2 or something like that, or
it'd be just one game back of them,
right? But you'd be split for the season. It'd be tough for you if you're the Packers, even with the win last night and the amount of games left, and to catch and pass the Lions, because I don't know how the tiebreaker would work, but first you got to match them, and then you got to get a tiebreaker, and then if the Lions lose enough games for you to catch them, the Eagles probably jump up there, and then they're the one. Like, you're probably not getting the 1 seed. You might get home field, but like, you're probably not catching the Lions. I stand by what I said. I think the Packers could very well be the team that beats the Lions in the playoffs. That 3-point game, it reeked of 38-35 Patriots over Giants week 17. It reeked of, you got to play your division rival 3 times, including the playoffs. Hard to beat your division rival 3 times. Listen, the Lions have won a lot of close games this year, and you have to give them credit for their grit. But to me, I leave that game going like, so the Packers are surging and the Lions just have to hit 80% of their 4th down calls. I guess that's a good clip to keep going. I guess you can count on hitting 80% of your 4th down calls.
12-1. And won 11 in a row. I'm of the mindset you got to lose another game come playoffs. And they got a tough one next up. They got Buffalo. I do like what the Packers can do, though. I mean, look, the Lions are stacked, though. The Lions are stacked. They got a great running game. They got two running back. They got a combo, the best combo in the league. But he is for sure the wild card. There's times you got to be conservative. And there's times where you got to be bold and go for it. I would not have gone for it there at the end of the game, personally.
I just for me in that specific situation when you're kicking an under 40-yard field goal
At home, in a
at
dome.
home in a dome, the flip side of it is, or do I just not trust my defense that much? And I'm just like, hey, as a coach, I'm just going to give my defense, like whether I believe in them or not, I'm going to give them that vote of confidence. We're going to kick it here. We're going to win this game, and then you're going to stop them.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna play a call real quick. You touched on Doug Peterson, and somebody referenced him in a NFL question for us.
Hey, Dirty Sports. This is McKay from Houston, Texas.
This isn't it. Did I download the wrong one? Hold on.
Hey, Dirty.
Damn. Okay, I downloaded the thing twice. Okay, I'll just say it. Basically, the question was, who should get a longer leash after a Super Bowl? The coach or the quarterback? I think it's a good question. And they were referencing Doug Peterson and who won one. And also, they basically said Zach Taylor and Doug Peterson are trash and should be gone after this season. And it's like, we give these guys a leash for not even someone like a Taylor, not even winning a Super Bowl. And you get guys like a Mike McCarthy or Doug Peterson who win one. How long should that leash be? And how does that compare to the leash a quarterback gets?
I think there's a barrier to entry for the quarterback position. I think it's hard to be a quarterback that doesn't check the box of like able to win a Super Bowl or not able to win a Super Bowl and still does. It's very rare that a guy is essentially like not qualified to win a Super Bowl, but still manages to pull it off. And that usually means that you have an elite football team, and you're just, the Trent Dilfering, the Brad Johnsoning, coaches feels to me like almost easier to pull that off. Again, especially the head coach position, like what's your actual job? Obviously it differs from coach to coach, but you can just be, sort of a leader of men and somebody that makes the call on fourth down and, time management thing. And you can have a good enough team where like, you don't really get put in that position. Like you could have a Super Bowl game where you don't get put in that position. You don't get put in a position to like make some great coaching decision or fuck it up. Now, obviously, part of winning a Super Bowl is like you're there for 2 weeks, you're off your schedule, you're all the things that come with like playing in the Super Bowl and how difficult it is. But like, was Joe Gibbs a better coach than Marv Levy? Or did it happen to be like that Redskins team was just fucking something else that year? Like I think a coach should have less of a leash than a quarterback, but I think it's totally based on like how you did it, what you did. Like, for example, your Seahawks team that won the Super Bowl is like a perfect example. Like Russell Wilson is still in the league based on that Super Bowl. And Pete Carroll certainly got a long leash post that Super Bowl too. But those were defensive. That's a Super Bowl that was won on defense. I mean, they fucking murdered the Broncos in that Super Bowl. And So like in that situation, I'm like, was there even really am I like, I look at that, I'm like, I almost am not judging the quarterback or the coach. I mean, now like to me, Pete Carroll, you got to judge him like a little bit. You got to give him a little bit more of a credit for building the defense. But like, they also ran into, like each Super Bowl is different. Like, what do you have to do to get through the playoffs to get there? Who did you play in the Super Bowl? Like Dan Quinn mismanaged his way out of a Super Bowl win. It was totally legitimate to fire him like a year removed from that and be like, yeah, we're good. So I think the coach should get less of a leash.
I agree. The coach should get less of a leash. You also have to look at the full body of work, right? Like let's look at Doug Peterson. You have one Super Bowl win. What's your overall record? What's your record in division as a coach? What's your record in one-score games? These are all where coaching matters. What is it? And that's the same. That's why, like, I'll just hammer Zach Taylor till death. It's like, dude, 6 years, one Super Bowl appearance, big time losing record in division, big time losing record in one-score games. That means you're a shit coach. But like you said, you can be carried by other things, whether it's a defense or a quarterback or great skill.
Yeah, like Mike McCarthy comes in. It's pretty early on. He's got essentially peak Aaron Rodgers. They win a Super Bowl. It's like you go back to the conversation we always had when we still even gave college football a second on the show. But it's like, Les Miles came in and won a Super Bowl immediately after Saban is fired, and you go
after he goes to Miami.
Yeah. After he goes to Miami, sorry, not fired. And you go, oh, well, now we got to keep him for 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
How the fuck did that work out for you?
Exactly. 100%.
How did it work out for the Packers to stick with Mike McCarthy that whole time? How did it work out for the Cowboys to give Mike McCarthy a job based on that Super Bowl? How did it work out for the Jaguars to give Doug Peterson a job based on that Super Bowl?
Anybody can catch lightning in a bottle for a season. And I mean, the Eagles are like that's why it's such a remarkable story, because they did it with a backup.
Yeah.
And they hit on everything, which again, even the trick play is like, that's like the top of that, hitting on everything.
Yeah.
In the Super Bowl.
He's a genius. He gets every fourth down. Like, that's not how math works. He's a genius. He's flipped a coin 14 times and it's come up heads every time. He is a magician with that coin. No. Now after, if you flip that coin 100 times, it's going to be pretty close to 50-50. So now the Jaguars have had him flip the coin and it's been 14 times tails. And they're like, what the fuck is happening? He's a shit coach. That's what's happening.
Yeah. And I think the true colors will show. Now, conversely, you have a guy like a Mike Tomlin or a John Harbaugh who won Super Bowls at this point a long time ago. But I'd argue, okay, again, I'm going to use the same arguments. What's their overall record year to year? What's their division record? Who are the players they've had? You might have a more recent Super Bowl with the Doug Peterson, but he's not even on their level as a coach. Come on. For sure, the coach should have a shorter leash.
Yeah, you look at a guy like John Harbaugh, and he won a Super Bowl. He's played all kinds of different styles. Sometimes their teams are crazy offensively. Sometimes their teams are crazy defensively. He had Flacco. He had Lamar Jackson. He had he's adjusted, you know, like Lamar Jackson hasn't even played in a Super Bowl. And it feels like the idea down there is the rumblings again from the idiocy of football fans is like, if they can't figure out soon, maybe John Harbaugh's got to go. And you're like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
Yeah, exactly. And that's how I felt watching. I know you're not going to watch. That's how I felt watching that AFC North Hard Knocks with Mike Tomlin. Like all the fans, and I know a lot of Pittsburgh fans will say, oh, he hasn't won a playoff game. And I get that. He hasn't won a playoff game in 7 years, and he hasn't won a Super Bowl in damn near 15 years. I say, okay, cool. He's the number one coach that players want to play for in those anonymous polls. You watch him in Hard Knocks, players love him. He's a player's coach, but he also expects a lot out of his team. You can just I don't know. It's interesting when you see these guys. I feel like you can just see. You get the vibe, right? Whether somebody is a good coach or whether somebody's going to motivate you, or if they're just there. Like Zach Taylor is just there, dude. You're just there. Nothing about you motivates me. Nothing. So somebody made a great point. I was looking at some things. Talking about coaching, somebody made a great point from that Hard Knocks. Somebody wrote, I saw a comment somewhere. Somebody wrote, when Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh walk in the room and they say good morning, the players say good morning, coach, or good morning back. They said when Zach Taylor did it, nobody said a word.
You can always tell too about a coach, like who, when you think about it, it's pretty much coach, quarterback, and then maybe with the occasional exception, just an elite defensive player. But it's usually the coach or the quarterback. When you talk to a real football fan, it's like, who's the face of the franchise? When you go, who are the Niners about?
Yeah.
Who are the who is the Niners?
Me? You're just asking me?
Who's the Niners?
If you ask me who are the Niners, I'd say they have a great offensive system, scheme.
But no, you got to say it's this person. Is it Christian McCaffrey? Is Christian McCaffrey the Niners? Who is the Niners?
I'd say it's Shanahan.
Yeah. Who is the Seahawks team that won the Super Bowl?
Defense, Pete Carroll.
Who is the Packers that won the Super Bowl?
Aaron Rodgers.
Who is the Chiefs?
Patrick Mahomes.
And maybe Andy Reid?
Yeah.
Is that why they're the great? Who is the Pats dynasty?
I put them together, Brady and Belichick.
Yeah. Who is the Giants' 2 Super Bowl championship teams?
I would do Eli and Tom Coughlin.
Yeah.
Personally.
So that's pretty much where you want to, that's where you really want to be at, right? You really want to be at Belichick, Brady, Manning, Coughlin, Mahomes, Reed.
Yeah.
That's where you want to be.
True.
Right? Now you go.
You're saying Montana, Walsh.
Yeah. That's where you really want to be. But then when you talk about, like, you can kind of judge who is more important if you don't have one of those situations by which one you name. Who is the Colts teams that they're winning? It was Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
It wasn't Tony Dungy and Peyton Manning. It wasn't fucking whoever and Peyton Manning. It was Peyton Manning.
Yeah, for sure.
Here's a great one. Who is the Cowboys?
Currently? There's no one.
Jerry Jones.
Oh yeah.
That's the worst situation you want to be
right.
in.
I was thinking I was thinking players or coach, but yeah, you're right. You're right. The Bengals are Joe Burrow.
The Bengals are Joe Burrow. No doubt about it. The Bengals aren't Zach Taylor.
The Chargers are now
Jim Harbaugh.
Harbaugh and Herbert.
Maybe Herbert. It's definitely Harbaugh right now, right?
Yeah, it's Harbaugh right now. You're right.
And I think you're absolutely right. Like for that Chargers team to be a contender, they're going to have to be the Reed and Mahomes of that squad.
The Eagles or I'm sorry, not the Eagles. The Packers are LaFleur. I'm never gonna say his name. LaFleur and Jordan Love. Who are the Eagles?
Who are the Eagles?
And who are the Lions? Is those two questions.
Who are the Lions? I mean, the Eagles, Hurts and Sirianni he's telling his coach not to be a fucking dork in the Super Bowl. Not exactly Montana Walsh.
Yeah. I mean, who are the Lions? Are they Dan Campbell? I think they are. I think they're Dan Campbell.
I think they've got to be. What's
They
the
gotta
other
be Dan
option?
Campbell.
It's not. Well, they're not Jared Goff.
No, they're not Jared Goff.
It could be Campbell and Goff, although that's basically Terrence and Phillip. Like they're just farting on each other.
Terrence and Phillip. Great reference. Hey, buddy, want to throw an interception, buddy?
Down, coach.
Want to throw an interception, buddy? Go for it on fourth down, buddy. Yeah. That is interesting if you think about it. And you are right. The Cowboys are Jerry Jones. That's definitely where you don't want to be.
Mean, that's you could argue that for the Giants right now. You could say that the Giants have become it's become the conversation has become about the owner. You never want to be that.
Yeah. I want to. We'll go back to the NFL for sure. I have to transition to this Rob Manfred Major League Baseball story, which you didn't even know about. I had to inform you before the show.
It feels like my brain refused to see it or something.
Again, when I saw this,
I'm still not convinced you're not trolling me. I might have to Google it myself right now.
Hey man, look it up. This is a true story. Rob Manfred and Major League Baseball are floating or considering, whatever you want to call it, a golden at-bat rule. This is true. This happened a few days ago, where teams are given one time a game to send any player from their team to the plate. True story here, guys. I saw it.
It's the fucking dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
And you want to know why it's the dumbest thing ever? Every single rule Major League Baseball comes up with is some sort of let's add excitement. Let's try to lure. I just talked about this analogy in regards to something else, but like what you're doing with a rule like this is you're pouring, a small water bottle of potential new viewers into your pool that has a gaping hole at the bottom. You are then taking a fucking jackhammer to the bottom of your pool and just draining out people who care about baseball. You are spitting in the face of people who care about baseball. And the number of people you will lose with this will dwarf the amount of people that you make happy with it, that brings excitement to the game, no one's going to start watching baseball because of the golden batter rule. I guarantee you, and I will be one of, I do not care if record this, save it, clip it. I don't care if the Mets are in the middle of the Cohen dynasty. I will not watch baseball with this rule. I will once again be out.
So
here's a second one you can clip out. If the golden bat rule is instituted, I will get a James Bond N64 era golden gun with a silencer, and I will United Healthcare Rob Manfred outside the MLB offices.
Well,
I am not fucking joking.
this is the background from this. I guess he went on a podcast. This is true. So I'm reading. This is The Athletic. And he said this.
Rob Manfred will come out of the offices, and this is all he'll say. Because I'll odd job him.
He said there are a variety of rule changes that are being talked about. And again, this is from Rob Manfred's, from the horse's mouth. One of them there was a little buzz around at an owner's meeting was the golden at bat rule. So this is the proposed rule. We don't know for sure. These are the ones that Jason Stark claims he heard. Each team gets to pick one at-bat at any point in the game, but only once to play its golden at-bat rule. So you could save that for a Juan Soto type moment, or you could play it in the second inning with the bases loaded and a chance to blow up the game. And there's some options that they've discussed. Each team gets one golden bat per game, except only in the seventh inning or later. So they would reserve it for later innings, or another variation where a team that is trailing or tied in the ninth. I mean, this is getting too complicated.
I would like to propose the golden shower rule, where if Rob Manfred does this, I break into his home and piss in his mouth.
I want to piss on you. Yes, I do. Drip, drip, drip. It's just, I'm trying to think. I always like doing crossover comparisons with other sports. I don't know. There's nothing like this. There's nothing like this in any other sports. And I guess, again, I've read a few articles on it.
I mean, to be fair, the NBA does have a similar proposal that they've thrown around, which is in, one score games with under a minute left. The one chosen player for each team has a shot to take a 3-pointer while the fans throw rubber chickens at them. And some people think that will make the game ludicrous, but
chicken roll.
Any more ludicrous than the golden bat rule? I don't think so. The crispy golden chicken rule. It'll all be sponsored by Chick-fil-A. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, crossover. I saw a great comment from somebody about this, and they just wrote, "Baseball's supposed to be hard," which is perfectly sums it up. It's supposed to be hard. You can't.
Also, how about sports are supposed to have rules?
Yeah. Well, it's a bad rule when, of all people, Roger Clemens, roid raging, insane person, Roger Clemens, makes a good point on Twitter. And he tweeted, hypothetical, you have bases loaded, no outs, and Ohtani is up. You strike him out. Then they can just use this rule to let him stay up, and I have to face him again? It's a great point. Why are they complicating everything? You're just trying to complicate a mostly simple sport.
When was this a story?
December 2nd, December 3rd. And that's what's interesting, Joe. It didn't get that much traction. It's almost like ESPN's purposely not talking about it. It's on The Athletic. It's on. Why are you struggling to find it?
Yeah, I'm just like, I put it in, and it's like, a tweet from yesterday about it, and then like a tweet from 5 hours ago. Like, it's insanely dumb.
That's what I'm saying. It is interesting how it didn't get picked up, really. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I don't. It's basketball. It's the movie Basketball. It's the Jock Jam MTV back in the day. It's the 10 pointer.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was.
I mean, listen, if we're going to do it, you know, if you're going to give Shohei Ohtani a second chance to bat in a clutch situation, then I think Squeak should be in the on deck circle going, Stephen Perry.
I mean, seriously. Just keep the game what it is. Make it more affordable for fans. Try to market your players better. Utilize social media. You don't got to reinvent the wheel, man.
I look forward to brain dead and propagandized and brainwashed sports fans going, just me sitting right up against the safety net at Dodger Stadium, my $30 beer, watching Shohei Ohtani's second at bat in the 9th. Who's better than me? People who have killed themselves. That's who's better than you.
So the argument.
Remember when they put the nets out and 70% of people were like, I like it.
Yeah, it's which is still so bizarre to me because who wants a barrier when you're at a sports event? You want access to the players. You want access to the game. Why would you want a barrier? It's so bizarre to me. Don't you want to get as close to the players as you can?
I said it to somebody the other day, you know, and this is not me making a political statement out of the show because no one who has listened to more than 2 hours of the show would ever think that I would have voted for Kamala Harris. Obviously, I didn't. I never would. You could put Rob Manfred's golden piss bat in my mouth, and I still wouldn't. I would never. But somebody said to me the other day, I cannot believe that many people voted for Donald Trump. And I go, that's because you've never been to the United States of America. That's why. You live in LA. You've never been. When you travel this country, you realize the majority of people are fucking idiots.
Yeah, but I would counter that and I would say, you can't believe how many people voted for Donald Trump. I would say, well, look what the other side had to offer.
Again, to me, that's not even part of the conversation. To me, that's not even part of the conversation. The part of the conversation is exactly what I said. Of course, I would never vote for the other side, but I could never go in there and cast a vote for the man. And the fact they were like, I can't believe that many people could do it. I go, you've never been to this country. You think the golden bat rule isn't going to be instituted because 100% of people who watch baseball would be opposed to this rule? You have never been to this country. 45% of baseball fans are going, I kind of like it. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be fucking great. How cool would it be fucking Shohei Ohtani gets 2 at-bats in the 9th?
But I'll be honest,
sick, dude.
I don't even know if that analogy works in a way because, well, I guess to me, like I don't necessarily get it. I guess because my point about the golden at-bat rule, I don't.
Dude, 2 Ohtani at-bats to go my 2 for 20 at Applebee's?
I don't think you're getting that guy to watch. My point is, I don't think you're getting that guy to watch the games, though.
No, you're not getting. But it's not even about that.
Do you know what I'm saying?
That's what baseball doesn't understand. None of this shit helps people watch.
Do you know? And to kind of follow up on the rule, do you know who uses this rule?
The Savannah Bananas.
Yep.
I didn't know that, but yeah,
literally the Harlem Globetrotters of
a circus act, yeah,
of baseball.
But that's why they're doing it. This is precisely my point. Rob Manfred's like, people love that shit. Idiots love it. It's a sideshow. You know what else would draw a crowd, Bob? A golfer with an arm growing out of his ass.
I'm trying to think of an analogy. Is the analogy? Is this an apropos analogy? You can put anybody at the free throw line at the end of the game in the fourth quarter.
And
No, but is that the analogy, right? Like
and
Shaq.
11 of your fans randomly selected based on whether or not they purchase a supersized soda get blow darts and can try to shoot the player while he's at the line. It's fucking ludicrous. And somebody in a Jameis Winston fucking Saints jersey with a Savannah banana hat on is like, I think this is the fucking greatest idea ever. Two Ohtani at bats for the price of one.
But again, that's why I keep trying to bring up a comparison to like the article I read from the sports writer in the Wall Street Journal, and about he was not taking a stance. He wasn't like, I hate this or I love this. He was just saying like,
He should kill himself.
Yeah, why I actually like this guy. But my point is he was basically saying like other leagues will do stuff. But I'm like, it's not. I disagree with him in this regard. He was talking about the NBA and how they introduced the in-season tournament and how NFL has altered the kickoff. I'm like, but these aren't. That's not, to me. That's like you said, that it's not circus act type changes. Changing the kickoff or introducing an in-season tournament. Again, it's not the same.
Changing the essence of the game.
Exactly. You're changing the essence of the game
in some sort of circus manner where you're like, all right, well, we got to institute one of these rules. It's either the golden bat rule or the rule where one reliever a game gets to come in and has to pitch with a snapping turtle in his pants. It's one or the other, guys. Which one should we do? And they're like, that's crazy. And he's like, so we're going with the golden bat rule?
Do you remember when we used to play pool volleyball in Savage Town with the mayor? Do you remember how you had to win the game?
No.
So
there was like a golden ball. You had to have a final
called
ball.
The glitter ball. It was called the glitter ball.
Yeah.
And I would do a dance, and it was always like so flamboyant. And we had this giant glitter ball.
Yeah.
And it was a massive ball. And remember, it was hard because that ball could easily just go out.
Yeah.
And you had to win your final point. So this is my analogy. A drunken, stoned idea that a bunch of Venice beach bums came up with playing pool volleyball is basically what baseball is trying to institute for their sport.
Rob Manfred is essentially a 50-year-old lawyer who still lives in a studio apartment along with his brain-damaged podcaster vice commissioner.
Who's like, hey, let's add the glitter ball to beach.
The glitter ball. Only if you wear a G-string when you present it. Fine. Just see Andy coming out with the glitter bat to present Shohei Ohtani. He's in the USA fucking thong. Hello, my baby. Hello, my mama. Time for the golden bat. I'm like, I've never been so angry. I will murder. I will fully United Healthcare Rob Manfred if it happens.
What's amazing to me is that it's even being discussed. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's saying this on a podcast. He's saying like, oh, you know what idea has some traction with the owners? And nobody just goes, no, we can't. This, stop. Right now, stop. It's a terrible idea. It's nuts, man. Again, make baseball cheap, make it affordable for families, market your players better. That doesn't change the game.
Why do that when once a game we could have Hawk Tua girl come and queef a softball out of her vagina?
Maybe Rob Manfred should watch the ESPN 30 for 30 on the XFL.
Dude, the golden bat, I'm telling you, 45% of sports fans are going to be like, did you hear? Also, if you go to Subway and you get the new golden bat sub where they've spray painted the yoga mat bread gold and you get a free ticket to the game, it's pretty great, man. So now I get poisonous paint on my Subway and free tickets to see the Reds, plus the golden bat rule. Tell me why I'm not supposed to like this.
You're telling me they can send Pete Rose's corpse up the bat?
Yeah.
The bottom of the ninth.
Andy, but here, like, this is the thing that's so crazy. Is it more or less crazy than being like, one time a game, you can call back a player from the dead and hologram Pete Rose? I'm not joking. Hologram Pete Rose will have one at bat against a hologram of their current pitcher, and AI will determine the outcome. Is it crazier than saying disregard lineups in baseball and just let guys bat whenever you want?
I mean, it's exactly. It's all part of the strategy. It's the same reason there's a strategy on how you use your timeouts in football and challenges. In the NBA, when you use your challenge, you only get one. It's all part of the strategy. You just throw that out the window. And I'm sure every manager, especially old school manager, hears this and they just go, this is insane. I think we've said all we can say about that.
I'll fucking kill the dude.
Do you think, before we get back into NFL picks, do you think Bill Belichick really has interest in coaching University of North Carolina?
I don't even understand it.
I don't either.
I don't. I mean, I guess, like,
does he love? I saw some funny things out there. You know, Lawrence Taylor went there. Is it that, like, hey man, Lawrence Taylor went to North Carolina and he is your favorite and arguably the best defensive player of all time? Is it because of Lawrence Taylor?
To be fair, there's only two things in the history of mankind that Bill Belichick has ever gotten a boner over, and it's Lawrence Taylor and 20-something girls. So I guess, you know,
there's your answer.
Coaching at UNC is not a terrible option for either one.
Yeah.
So you're a sophomore? Want to suck my dick under some black and white pictures of Lawrence Taylor in our trophy room?
But also, why would you want to go back to a job where you have to recruit? And now on top of that, in the NIL era, the transfer portal era, it's everything that's anti-Bill Belichick.
Imagine the first time Bill Belichick screams at one of those guys.
Or not even screams. You know how he just calls them out?
Yeah.
You didn't watch the thing. You didn't watch the Patriots thing. They said he would be just as hard on Brady as everybody else.
Yeah.
And that was one of the focal points of the documentary of, like, he's just like, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing, Tom?
And the quarterback just goes, Mom. And Bill's like, what's that? He's like, oh, you don't know about the golden pen rule? The golden pen, I can transfer anywhere I want at any given time because NIL. So I've decided to take my talents to South Carolina. They're sponsored by Bojangles. And my fucking NIL deal just tripled. Get fucked. What's your name? Belichick? I don't even know who the fuck you are.
I think it's just a ploy. It's just like I don't know, something with
I coach Lawrence Taylor. Is that Taylor Swift's brother? What do I give a fuck?
Can you imagine if he hired Lawrence Taylor? Put him on the staff.
the golden crack pipe rule, where once a game, Lawrence Taylor, high on crack, is able to line up a defensive end.
I'll tell you what, that would get me back into college football if they install that, the Lawrence Taylor golden crack pipe rule. That'd be amazing.
It's not crazier. Once a game, you can have a former great alumni of your former team get high on crack and play one defensive snap. Ray Lewis just shows up to Miami. He's like, oh.
Yeah. I know. I mean, he's going to be in the NFL next year. He's got to be. This is probably the most interested I've ever been in an offseason to see where Vrabel and Belichick go. And of course, I live in Ohio, obviously, and everybody's saying Vrabel's going to end up back at Ohio State where he went. And I said the same thing. I said, you think Vrabel wants to deal with college kids and recruiting and all this shit?
Give me the dream team. I'm a New York Giants fan. Give me the dream team. Bill Belichick, president of football operations. Mike Vrabel, head coach. We'll even let you have Josh McDaniels as your offense coordinator. Let's go.
Can we get a wellness check on Alex from Kentucky? He's been awfully silent.
Everything we've talked about, Andy,
he's that fan.
Everything we've talked about,
right.
He thinks the season's going swimmingly. He's like, well, we weren't going to turn around year one, but look at how our defense played in this game. And then, these Will Levis moments. Plus next year when the NFL institutes the Golden Mayo rule, where if your quarterback eats a spoonful of Golden Mayo, they get one undefended pass to the end zone. We're going to be sick when there's no defenders.
Amazing.
Alex from Kentucky definitely thinks this season's going well.
Yeah.
Like he's hopeful about next year.
Oh, 100%. Even though the Titans are 3-9.
And Vikings fans think that they just suddenly figured it out. We told you our coach was good the whole time.
All right, let's hop into some picks.
Let's do it.
You're down 13, Brano.
Yeah, it's not good. It's the worst pick year I've ever had. Across the board. In my pick'em league, in everything. This is the worst pick year I've ever had. I do not suggest working for people. It really cuts into your sports watching and your NFL film break.
That's gonna be a reason?
No, I'm just saying I don't know what the reason is. I don't know. All I know is fine gambling year, not my best. Kind of hit a cold streak recently. Still hitting parlays. Nice. Still a positive sports gambling year. Obviously, NBA playoffs will always determine my yearly nut. But worst pick'em year I've had in the history of me tracking it via this show and my pick'em leagues.
Well, because you're already at the point, it's week 14, you're down 13 points. It's almost like you have to just start doing the fade strategy already.
Yeah, but you do the anti-fade. When I make a pick, you anti-fade me.
You know what? But I'm not going to do that anymore. I've decided. Just like last night, you try to goad me into picking the Lions, and even before I saw your pick on Substack, I thought, no, I think it was 3 and it was a push. But I was like, I think the Packers are right in this game. I think there's a good chance they win. I'm not going to let Prano play that game with me. So here's what I'm telling you. Before we go into these picks, I'm going to pick what I actually think is going to happen. I'm not going to fuck around.
Okay.
I'm trying to create my own little dynasty here.
Great.
So we'll see how it goes. Jags Titans. Speak of the devil. You're 2-10 Jags and you're 3-9 Titans in Tennessee. You went first yesterday, so I'll go first. Tennessee is -3.5. Trevor Lawrence is on IR. This is a tough one. It's like, who do you pick? You have a coach who's for sure going to be fired. Probably lost his team. But they still covered. Like, I took them last week. They still covered on the road in Houston. I don't like Tennessee because this half point. Even though they have a backup. I'm going to take the Jags. 3.5.
Yeah, the half point sucks. It's in Tennessee?
Correct.
I will take the Titans.
Yeah, you got to start fading.
And I will take, I'm going to do a money line parlay, Titans and Doug Peterson fired Monday.
Ooh, you think they're not going to let the season finish?
You can't lose to the Titans and not cover. Titans money line.
What if
Doug
they did
Peterson
the golden
fired.
fourth down rule where it doesn't matter how that plays out, they convert the fourth down?
Yeah.
No matter what happens, it's a first down. He's got to put on a golden visor.
Well, the NFL is thinking about instituting a similar rule. It's the golden butt fuck rule. Where on 4th and 1, you can pick one player to be painted gold and butt fuck your quarterback for a first down. Oh wait, that rule already exists.
Do you think Peterson ever gets a head coaching job again? I say no.
No.
I agree.
There's got to be, I think it sucks because I'm in California. So I don't get to fuck around on all those apps. I got to do everything through, Bovada. I got to do everything through shady backdoor betting sites. I don't get a lot of the fun pick shit you guys get. So FanDuel or DraftKings or whatever, there's got to be I know there you can bet on like coaches to be fired. Next coach fired. Go find the next coach fired tab and take it with Doug Peterson and parlay it, not with the 3.5, but with a Titans money line for this weekend. Titans money line this weekend. Next coach fired parlay. This is my Jameis Winston pick 6 prediction of the week.
Well, these are the next coach fires. I'm looking at OddsShark. Peterson's plus 325. Dable's plus 350. McCarthy's plus 500. Antonio Pierce and Zach Taylor are plus 650.
Dude, get the Doug. I mean, plus 320, like just a plus 325 boosting a Titans money line.
Yeah. All right. Jets, Dolphins in Miami. Finns basically have to win out. They're 6-point favorites.
I'm going to take the Jets, and I'll tell you why. Coming down, there's 3 players left in my pick on or my suicide pool. I'm one of 3 players left in my suicide pool. Running out of teams. Had to take the Dolphins this week to beat the Jets. Don't love it. Know one thing for sure. I'm gonna sweat it.
Yeah.
Jets cover, Dolphins win, hopefully.
I think that's what's going to happen too. I don't see Miami winning by a touchdown. And I think they'll keep their hopes alive and they'll keep some optimism for Dolphins fans.
Let me tell you, cause I love your advice on this. I mean, my other options, Saints beat the Giants. Do you want to lose? Like, do you want to know how miserable I'd be if the Giants won a game I don't want them to win?
So I don't know how you treat it. A lot of times I always am hesitant to take the road team.
Correct.
And say what you want. The Saints are 5.5-point faves, but they're also on the road.
So Lions Packers already happened. I had already taken the Lions. I could take Jaguars Titans, which who in the world could be confident about that game? I currently have the Dolphins over the Jets. I've already taken the Vikings. I'm not going to take the Falcons getting 5.5. Saints on the road at Giants in a game I don't want the Giants to win. I could take the Panthers against the Eagles, which obviously I'm not going to do. I could take either one of the Steelers Browns. 6.5 point game, but like, division game.
We're talking straight up.
Yeah, straight up.
Take the Steelers, man.
You rather the Steelers rather than the Dolphins over the Jets?
Yes. Here's why. You think the Steelers are going to lose both games to Cleveland?
No, but I hate the idea. Like, can you imagine if I got Jameis?
Well, there's a reason Mike Tomlin's been there for 17 years.
Yeah.
He's not going to let Jameis beat his defense 2 times.
The only other options I have, I could take the Cardinals to beat the Seahawks. I could take the Rams to beat the Bills, which obviously I won't do. I could
To
take
me,
the
this
Bears.
is a no-brainer, to be honest.
You think Steelers is way more of a no-brainer than the Dolphins?
Yes.
I hope you're wrong. I mean, I could switch it right now, but
That's just me personally. I'm definitely not touching Seattle, Arizona.
Rams, Bills, Bears, Niners. I could take the Chargers to beat the Chiefs, or I could take the Cowboys to beat the Bengals.
I think it's obvious. Pittsburgh at home. And Pittsburgh's not going to put up all the points they did last week.
Here's the other thing about this, and this was part of my strategy. 8% of people have taken Dolphins over Jets. 24% of people have taken Steelers over Browns. So, good chance if I don't take the let's say the Browns were to win. I probably
well, let me put it this way. You can only use a team once.
Correct.
So there's a strategy behind that.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to pick the Steelers the rest of the way. Like, if you looked ahead at their schedule, you're not going to be able to take the Steelers the rest of the way. The Steelers' remaining schedule after today, at the Eagles, at the Ravens, home against the Chiefs, home against the Bengals, final game. This is your one time to take the Steelers. Wouldn't you feel better about losing to Jameis than having Aaron Rodgers beat the Dolphins in Miami on some pointless game?
I'm switching it, and I swear to God, if Jameis Winston, if Russes and loses to Jameis Winston to eliminate me, it will truly be a suicide pool because I'll fucking kill myself.
Well, I mean, look, you asked my opinion. I'm giving you my opinion.
I know. It was the only other game I could have possibly picked. It's the only other one.
Again, I just
so many facts. Jameis, Russ, Browns, Steelers. I agree. I don't think they're losing the 2. I've swapped.
Okay.
If your boy Russ just lays down in the backfield after fucking 9 seconds of holding the ball in the pocket, I'm going to kill myself.
Well, he's definitely going to have more pass rush than he did last week against the Bengals.
But if I kill myself, it'll be a suicide bomb at the MLB offices. So that'll be a win.
The golden suicide.
Yeah.
All right. Where were we on picks?
We're at Dolphins, Jets.
We both took the Jets. Okay. I'm up. Falcons, Vikings. Ooh, Kirk Cousins revenge game. It's in Minneapolis. Minnesota's 5.5 point favorites. I'm going to actually take the Falcons. It's a big spread, man.
It's big.
And here's the thing. We all know the Vikings have, like I said earlier in the show, they have a top 5 defense.
Yeah.
They're also not putting many points on the board.
Yeah. 5.5 is big. I want to fade you, but I don't believe in it, so I'm not going to.
Okay.
I'll take the Falcons.
All right. Both of us taking the Falcons. All right. Saints, Giants at the Met. You're up 9.5 point Saints favorites. Who's playing quarterback for you guys now?
I'm assuming Drew Lock. I actually don't know or care. I should say that.
All right.
I'll take the Giants to cover.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. All right, Panthers, Eagles, I'm up. We haven't really discussed that Bryce Young is playing a lot better, man.
He was dead and buried. Ruther had
I did.
you had planted daisies in his grave.
I tried to give him the Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, you Brandon Ingram'd him.
I tried to give him the Brandon Ingram. Now
he's like much like Brandon Ingram. When you decided this, I was 22 years old.
No, he's playing a lot better. And here's the thing.
I would just like to say I was on the record the whole time. It's a little early to be fucking.
Yeah, no. I literally wanted to bury his grave. But here's the thing. It also goes back to it's good to sit sometimes. They just throw these guys right in.
Yeah. I think at this
point, good to
be
humbled.
I think at this point it's obvious that you're probably better off just not starting your NFL career. You're starting as a backup. It's pretty obvious at this point.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm up first. It's at the link. I'm big on the Eagles right now, but 13.5 is too much for me. I'm going to take the Panthers.
Yeah.
So you're in agreement.
Yeah. I mean, you're high on the Eagles right now. I'm not high on the Eagles right now. I'm not,
Why? They have a defense.
Yeah, they have a defense. That's fine. I mean, I think they're going to beat the Panthers, obviously.
Who do you have more confidence as a coach? Dan Campbell or Sirianni? That's a tough one.
It's very tough. Probably Dan Campbell, and here's why.
Great.
Here's why. Dan Campbell is just exceeding sort of expectations with the line. So his staff has not been gutted. Essentially, I don't have more confidence in Dan Campbell, but I have more he still has his original offensive and defensive coordinators that he's been working with. Those were pilfered from Sirianni. He embarrassed himself last year with other guys. Yeah, he's got he's got Fangio now, and he's got whatever. But like, I like the trifecta of coaches that haven't been broken up yet more than I don't like either of the head coaches from a personal standpoint.
Gotcha. And which quarterback do you have more faith in? Jared Goff or Jalen Hurts?
I guess I probably have more confidence in Jalen Hurts because he can do other things.
Yeah.
But also the Jalen Hurts is in the Jared Goff on the Rams era of his career where they're like, cool, you can get butt fucked for first downs and run RPOs, but otherwise don't throw it to any guy who's not wide open. Do the fade chuck.
Yeah.
Do the fade chuck on 3rd and long. Otherwise, we don't throw it to covered players.
All right, so we're both taking the Panthers, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, let's move right along here. Next up, we have Browns Steelers, which we talked about. It's in Pittsburgh. You're up. Pittsburgh's the 6.5-point favorite. Now, does Cleveland cover?
Well, I've now switched, and now I'm going to go with the exact same thing. I think the Steelers cover, but they're going to make me sweat it. So I think the Steelers win, but they're going to make me sweat it. So the Browns cover.
Yeah, I agree. Jameis gonna make us sweat. All right, Raiders Bucks.
Russ is gonna make me sweat. That's what I'm more concerned about.
Are you concerned about a Russ turnover or just not putting up any points?
I'm concerned about a Russ turnover. I'm concerned about, Cleveland's defense is not what it once was, but they do have a couple playmakers on the side. I'm afraid of a Russ strip sack. I'm afraid of a Russ 26-yard first half.
This is going to be a very interesting.
I'm afraid of the Russ 6 for 13 for 26 yards in the first half. Browns lead 5-2 at the break.
It's going to be really interesting offseason for the Steelers. Obviously, a lot has to play out this year. But what they do moving forward at quarterback and what the future for Justin Fields and Russell Wilson
Well,
is.
I don't know the finance. Obviously, I know the finances of the deal right now, but does that last because Russ's deal isn't over, right? So can the Steelers keep him and keep him for cheap?
I don't think they can keep either of them for too cheap, to be honest.
I'd like to see what because the Russ deal by the Broncos was so bad you wouldn't think it would already be over, but I don't know how all that works.
Yeah, I don't know how it works either. I knew the Broncos were paying him a lot of money this year. All right, Raiders Bucks in Tampa. Tampa's a 6.5 point favorite. This is one of those are the Raiders done? Are they just after last week? They're right there with Kansas City. Black Friday game. Are they just going to lay eggs now?
Pittsburgh will not owe Wilson anything beyond the 2024 NFL season unless it signs him to an extension.
Interesting.
So
there you have it.
Yeah, you can't sign him to a big extension.
No, I don't think he would. I think
he goes somewhere else and looks for money.
Or if he's smart, he says, "Hey, man, let's say they make it to the playoffs, or let's say they win a playoff game." If he's smart, he says, "I'll do it for $15 million a year, 3 years, $45 million." If he's smart, I don't know. Again, a lot has to play out. All right, Bucks are 6.5 point favorites over the Raiders. I'm going to take the Raiders.
Let's go. I'll take the Bucks.
Okay.
Receivers, offensive guys getting healthy. Baker Mayfield making a playoff push. Got to beat the Raiders. Are debacle.
They are.
Seahawks. And the Raiders had their game last week against the Chiefs. The Raiders aren't going to consistently compete in 2 football
that's
games.
what I was saying. All right, Seahawks, Cardinals in Arizona. Seahawks are 2.5 point underdogs. The division leading Seahawks. What do you think?
I'll take the Seahawks to win the game.
Wow, you see Seahawks jump to 8-5. I'm gonna fade you on this one.
Is it in? Did you say it's in Seattle, right?
No, it's in Arizona.
Oh, it's in Arizona.
I think Arizona wins and covers.
Fuck. All right, I'll take the Seahawks. I don't think the Seahawks win this game anymore, but I think they cover. Was it 2.5?
Yeah.
Stupid. Why did I think you said Seattle? That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you can change your pick if you want.
No, you got to
try to get some points.
Yeah.
All right, Bills Rams in LA. Bills are 3.5 point favorites. Okay, everybody's going to be on the Bills to cover this. They'll probably have a lot of Bills fans out there. I mean, do they just keep rolling? That's the question. They just keep rolling. Rams always put up a fight. That's just how they operate. Big over under in this one, 49.5. I'm going to say Rams cover.
All right, I'll take the Bills. That was going to be an auto fade for me because the half point's killer.
Yeah.
So I was just auto fading you. I was hoping it would go this way, though. I was hoping you'd give me a chance. I think that the Rams could very much cover this game and keep it close. I think the Rams could even win this game, but I think that's less likely to happen. So auto fade. I get the play I want.
All right, Bears Niners from Santa Clara. Bears with an interim coach. Niners are just in a tailspin this season. Niners are 4-point favorites. What do you think?
No first 2 running backs for the Niners.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
In Santa Clara, 4 points. Bears find a way to lose, but they find a way to lose in painful fashion every week. So to me, that means it's a Bears loss by 3 or less.
I agree.
And take the Bears.
Yeah, I agree for all those reasons. Same. I think Bears keep it close, cover. All right, we got a good one Sunday night. Chargers Chiefs from Arrowhead. The Andy Ruther upset pick of the week.
Wow.
Chargers win.
Wow. Chiefs win and cover.
Ooh, 4 points.
Is it 4?
It's 4.
It's on its way up from 3.5. I'll stick with the 4.
Chiefs win and cover. Doesn't mean I don't believe in the Chiefs, for the record. It does not mean I don't believe in the Chiefs.
Doesn't mean I don't believe in the Chargers, for the record.
Yeah.
Chargers, hard to beat the same team 3 times in your division in one season. But McConkey is the go-to guy. He, I think, is battling injury. I think it'll be determined on whether or not he practices today. Although the last couple of weeks he's been questionable, and he's had the biggest couple of weeks of his NFL career. But he's battling.
He is questionable. He's the leading receiver. I believe he's the leading rookie receiver too. All right, your Monday night game. It's a dud because they had this stupid Simpsons thing all scheduled. That's why they couldn't move this game. I don't know if you know
what. I have no idea what you're even talking about.
Yeah, ESPN Plus is doing something with the Simpsons.
The Simpsons is a Fox show. What the fuck are they?
I think it is a Fox show, but I think ESPN Plus. I don't know all these mergers. I can't keep track.
What is this? The Simpsons are doing is an NFL related thing?
Yes.
Okay. What's happening? At any point in the game, Homer Simpson, you could have the golden quarterback rule where the golden body of Homer Simpson comes in and plays quarterback.
Let's see. The Simpsons NFL game Monday on ESPN Plus.
It's fucking stupid.
An animated Monday Night Football game transformed in real time in the iconic Simpsons world using Sony's Beyond Sports technology. They're playing in Springfield. It will fully be an immersive fan viewing experience during the game. I don't really understand that. Each Bengals and Cowboys player will appear as a motion-enabled animated player for the special primetime matchup. Through state-of-the-art tracking technology enabled by NFL's next-gen stats, Sony's Beyond Sports, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Fans enjoying the Simpsons Fun Day football will see every snap as Simpsons. I don't freaking know.
Yeah.
But that's why they didn't move the game, because obviously nobody cares about a 5-7 Cowboys playing a 4-8 Bengals. Here's what's crazy. Bengals are favorites. They opened at 6. They're at 5 now. They're always favorites. They're favorites against Pittsburgh. Like what? I'm going to pull it up right now. Bengals against the spread this year. I bet it's not that good. Okay, it's actually 6-6. But what is the Bengals' record as favorites?
Andy, you're taking the Cowboys? Is that what you're telling me?
I am. I'm taking the Cowboys.
I am also. Actually, fuck it. Swap that. Give me the Bengals. I got to fade you. Also, it's your team. Also, we're going to get one of those. The Bengals, look at how good this Joe Burrow is. How are the Bengals not better this year? Yeah, fuck it. Give me the Bengals to cover.
All right. There it is. You got to pick up some points. You got to pick up like 3 to 5 points.
4.
4 is your goal.
3 for a 4, you know.
You can do 3.
Yeah. If I did 3, I'd be happy. If I did 4, I'd be very happy. If I did 5, I'd be ecstatic.
The Bengals aren't my team, by the way. You guys all keep saying that. They're not my team. I just can't. Now, if they go back to Gold Star, they'll be my team. Money talks. Money talks, bitches. Can't do it.
Is that our show?
That's the show. We have a hotline.
Yeah, tell people the hotline. We'll be back in 1 second.
310-359-8365. We do have a couple more calls that I'm not going to have a chance to get to this episode, guys. Are you giving me a dog?
Andy, this is Little Bo Peep. We call
That's
her Peep.
That's the full. Okay, what's the full name? You just
We call her Little Bo Peep is her full name. We call her Peep. I also call her Pickle. But it's Little Bo Peep. She's up for adoption. We've had her for a while. She's the best little puppy. She is such a good dog.
How old is she?
She is.
Do you know?
4 months, maybe.
Oh, so she's a pup.
She's a puppy. She's a little pit bull mix. You can get down. You can get down, baby girl. Oh, well. Foot caught on the thing. She's like, what the fuck is happening right now? She's such a good dog. She is up for adoption. They work all over California. We could coordinate if you're somewhere else. I cannot believe this dog hasn't gotten adopted. She's so good. Fully house trained, sits.
House trained. That's a
fully
huge
house
buck.
trained.
That's a huge bonus.
Such a good dog. Great with other dogs. Honestly, my dogs, I almost want to keep her because I think my other dogs are going to be fully depressed when she leaves. She gets along with both of them better than they get along with each other. Any of the any duo in my house works better than my actual duo. Peep and Boom would be legendary, but we just can't have 3 dogs. That's too much. And I just really want to promote. She's with a rescue called Foster Tales, Tales, I think, Foster Tales. And she's such a great dog. And Dr. Dirtball Zach Olmstead was interested for a minute. He might even still be interested. I think might be maybe filling out an application. But if you guys are out there and you need a dog, especially if you have another dog, she would be the best second dog. She's such a good little pup, and I kind of want to keep her, but I just can't have 3 dogs. So if you guys are interested, I put her on my Instagram all the time. You can DM me. I could not support somebody adopting this dog more.
But Doug Peterson.
What about Doug Peterson?
Would you let Doug adopt?
Well, he'll be home a lot.
That's what I'm saying. A little bit of Pete.
Yeah. He'll be home a lot in there. If he won't be working as long hours anymore. Yeah.
How much does she weigh?
She's probably 25-ish pounds. She's going to be 30 to 35 pounds, I would say, full grown. She doesn't have giant paws anymore. She's grown into it. I would say she's, 85 to 90% of the way full grown already. She's so good. She's been here the whole podcast, just sitting in the shed with me. So chill, but bouncy and fun. Loves other dogs. If you need a dog, rescue Little Bo Peep.
Little Bo Peep.
Or just Peep, Little Peep.
Little Peep. She can put on that rap album with that name.
I think there is a Little Peep.
Probably is.
I think there is.
I wonder how they decide if they want to put Lil in front of their name.
Yeah.
And how they decide they drop it. Like he's always going to be Lil Wayne.
Yeah. Well, he's always going to be Lil because Lil Wayne's like 5'7".
He is. No. As a short guy, he's not. Yeah, I don't think he's 5'7".
You think he's shorter than 5'7"?
I think he's shorter than 5'7".
Wow.
That's why he gets so many tattoos. It doesn't take long.
Yeah.
They're just like, you're so short.
Yeah.
You put a dot on his head. It's like his whole head.
And if you're Wayne, you got to be pretty short to be Lil Wayne. Now, if you're a yacht, you could still be like a 20-foot yacht and be Little Yachty,
Yeah.
Like it's just, you just can't be so small that you become a boat.
It's true. It's a good point. All right. So holla up Prano for that.
Yeah. Lil Peep.
Lil Peep.
Follow me on all social media at Joe Prano, TikTok, Instagram, Follow me on Substack. Yeah, follow me all the places.
Yeah. You guys know where to find us. That's the show. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend. And don't forget, stay dirty.